Roger, Garp, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, the legends of an entire era, frozen in disbelief, because before their eyes stands Emu, the shadow ruler of the world, turning the most feared man alive, rocks D. Zabek into something monstrous. A demon. Their combined strength, the might of gods among men, couldn't even scratch him, and in that moment, the greatest secret of One Piece began to unfold. The mystery that connects Joy Boy, the Void Century, and the bloodline known as... The Will of D. Emu's ability, Domi Reversi, isn't just some ordinary power, it's domination itself. A force that twists your emotions, drowns your will, and replaces your very consciousness with Emu's. But even under this demonic control, Zabek resists. The ground cracks as his conqueror's haki explodes, his spirit refusing to die. He screams, "Never underestimate humans!" And then, with his last ounce of strength, he reveals a name that shakes the heavens. Davy D. Jones was the name of the previous king of the world. The world trembles, because those words imply that the D bloodline once ruled the planet, that before Imu's dominion, the D clan stood as the kings of the ancient kingdom. Zabek's revelation exposes the world's greatest lie. Davy Jones wasn't just a sailor's myth or a ghost story. He was the heir to the ancient kingdom, the most powerful and technologically advanced civilization in history. But Emu rejects the idea. He was never a king. To Emu, being king means total control, to rewrite history, to define justice, to decide who is remembered and who is erased. That's why the celestial dragons pretend the empty throne is empty. So the world believes no one rules, when in truth, Emu sits above them all. But to Davy Jones and the D clan, a king meant something different. Not control, but freedom. Not ruling others, but freeing them. That's why Davy Jones, and later Joy Boy, stood against Emu. They weren't fighting for power, they were fighting for the world's right to dream. The ancient kingdom ruled through knowledge, not fear. It allowed other nations to live freely, until Joy Boy emerged. He traveled the world, uniting races, freeing slaves, and spreading laughter and hope wherever he went. He promised the mermaid princess a future on the surface. He promised the world that one day everyone would be free, but freedom terrifies the powerful. Emu saw Joy Boy's revolution as a threat to his grand design, his dream of absolute order. So he manipulated the kings of the world, whispering lies into their ears. He convinced them that Joy Boy wanted to destroy them, and together they turned on the ancient kingdom. The result was the Void Century, the war that erased an entire civilization from history. Yet before his fall, Joy Boy glimpsed the future. Through Toki's time-traveling powers and her final prophecy, he ensured that one day his will would return. You are the moon unaware of the dawn. But one day you shall know the brilliance of the morning sun. That dawn became the prophecy that the D clan would carry for centuries. A promise that one day a child of freedom would rise again. But the will of D did not remain united. Over the centuries, it split in two. On one side were those like Zabek and Blackbeard, men who sought liberation through domination, believing true freedom comes only through strength. On the other side were those like Joy Boy, Inaona, and Monkey D. Luffy, who believe freedom means being yourself, unchained by anything, even power itself. Two sides of the same coin, two halves of the same moon, both carry the same goal, to destroy tyranny, but walk different paths to reach it. Davy D. Jones acted too early. He tried to free the world 800 years ago before the prophecy's time. That's why Emu still fears his name, because every D carries his echo. No matter how many centuries pass, the will of freedom can't be erased. The battle at God Valley wasn't just a fight between pirates and marines. It was the rebirth of history itself. Zabek, consumed by Emu's Domi Reversi, turns on his own crew. Kaido falls, Big Mom collapses, and in one legendary clash against Whitebeard, their conqueror's haki destroys a mountain-sized symbol of an entire era crumbling to dust. Meanwhile, in the midst of destruction, one man acts silently. Bartholomew Kuma, the real hero of God Valley. Ignoring the chaos, Kuma saves everyone he can find, and among them, he finds Eris and a young boy, Teach, Zabek's own family. Just as Zabek's possessed strike comes crashing down, Kuma teleports them away. To everyone watching, it looks like Zabek killed them himself, but in reality, Kuma saved the future of the D clan. He saved both spears of the will of D, Luffy's freedom, and Teach's darkness. Without Kuma, the dawn would never come. The island burns, the seas boil, and then, amidst the chaos, silence. Roger and Garp hear a voice echo inside their minds. It's Zabek. His voice is weak, but human again. Please, kill me. Even Emu is stunned. The will of a D had broken through divine control. Zabek, despite being consumed, finds enough strength to ask for mercy. He knows if Emu keeps his body, it will become a weapon to enslave the world. So he begs his rivals, Roger and Garp, to end it all. And they do. Together, they put the demon to rest. This is the true story behind the God Valley incident. Not the Marines protecting Celestials, but two men honoring the will of their greatest enemy. As God Valley crumbled into the sea, Roger's crew escaped, carrying treasure, a baby, and a new era's beginning. Zabek's body died that day, but his soul didn't. His essence lived on through his son, Marshall D. Teach, who inherited the darkness, the other half of Davy Jones's legacy, while Joy Boy's spirit, his laughter, and his light lived on through Monkey D. Luffy. Two Ds destined to clash, darkness versus dawn. The same war 8 centuries later. Emu believes his rule is eternal, that history can be erased. But the will of D is the one force even gods fear, because it is not a person, it's a promise. A promise that the world will always produce those who defy oppression, those who dream, those who rise when others bow. From Davy Jones to Joy Boy, from Roger to Luffy, the will of freedom burns on, passed from heart to heart, generation to generation, and when the final war arrives, the dawn will rise once more. The D will always bring another dawn. Emu may have won countless battles, but his greatest fear has already come true, because as long as the Ds exist, his world of control will never last. Luffy's laughter, Teach's ambition, they are echoes of the same ancient dream, the dream of Davy D. Jones, the dream of Joy Boy, the dream of freedom.